I'd just like to ask a question also.
Yes.
I'd like to know, how are you a federal agency? Are you really a federal agency?
We are authorized by Congress under the Natural Gas Act. We were created by Congress.
And then who funds you?
We are funded by Congress. It's a line item in the budget.
And are you funded by anybody else besides Congress?
Nope.
And what?
There's a misconception going around that we are funded by industry. It's absolutely not correct. We are funded by Congress. If Congress decides they want to do away with us, they can write us out of the budget, and we won't exist as an agency. However, we also charge fees to the companies we regulate. Those fees do not go to the Commission. Those fees go directly into the U.S. Treasury.
And have you ever denied a pipeline?
Yes, but very few.
Can you mention one?
Not off the top of my head. Very few.
And-
Here's what I will say, though. We get lots of applications, thousands of applications. Not every application goes from the starting phase to the ending phase where a decision is made. A lot of them die along the way. We give certificates to companies, and the facilities don't get built because the markets have changed. So not everything we authorize gets built, and not every application goes to a certificate. Yes? My name is Paul Freidman, and I am a staff member at FERC, based in Washington, D.C., and I'm working on the environmental team for the NET project. Our goal is eventually to produce an environmental impact statement. We'll talk more about that later. Let the record show that this meeting began at 6:30 p.m. on Wednesday, July 15, 2015, at the VFW building in Great Bend, Pennsylvania. The FERC is the lead federal agency for both the authorization of this project under the Natural Gas Act and for compliance with the National Environmental Policy Act, or NEPA. The FERC is not an advocate for the project. FERC staff are advocates for the environmental review process. We'll offer our independent analysis of the potential environmental impacts of the proposals and alternatives. The FERC will address such research topics as geology and soils, water and wetlands, vegetation and wildlife, cultural resources, socioeconomics, land use, air quality and noise, and safety. FERC staff and our environmental contractors will monitor the project through construction, restoration, and the completion of mitigation programs. Person voice, because we don't have a microphone.
Can I ask why you don't have a microphone for a meeting? Isn't that like a requirement?
They don't have one of us.
It has to do with the venue.
Earlier you spoke that you had nothing to do with the pipeline route.
That's correct. Who picks the pipeline route?
Well, it doesn't matter. It's upon your approval that they steal our land. So actually, you have a great deal to do with
But
the
we
pipeline route.
don't select the pipeline route. The pipeline route is selected by the company.
But you allow them to steal the
We don't
pipeline
allow
route.
anything until there's an authorization. This project has
We've
not
already
been
been
authorized.
through this. You're the second pipeline going through our property.
Uh-huh.
We've already been through this once before.
Okay.
They've already stolen our land.
Okay, well,
And it was your approval that made it possible.
that's correct.
So the idea that you have nothing to do with the pipeline
We
route
don't
is
select the
ludicrous.
pipeline. It's not ludicrous. It's a fact. We don't select the pipeline route. What my project team does is evaluate the impacts that route will have on the environment. I don't make a
Not the
decision.
people, just the environment.
The environment includes people. We have a socioeconomic section in the EIS that absolutely addresses impacts on people. We talk about things like impacts on property values, impacts on landowners. Absolutely, that's in the EIS.
That's not true. The impact on landowners is not even considered.
It will be considered in this EIS.
Wait, and the last one,
Well, I didn't.
and I'm sorry, you're a federal agency, I would assume. that you're going to
Every
be-
EIS I've ever written in 25 years at the FERC has addressed landowner issues. Every
Really?
single one.
Well, they never talked to us. We weren't even contacted.
That's why we have public meetings, so you can tell us your concerns.
We did the first time, it didn't help. This is my point, the FERC never contacted us. And to say that you considered,
Did you get a copy of the NOI for this in the mail?
well, of course we did.
Then we did contact you.
And it, oh, God, okay. No, you're right, no, you're absolutely right. I'm
All
sorry.
right. Yes,
I have two quick questions.
Okay.
You mentioned public convenience and necessity.
that's the end document that the commissioners will issue if they authorize the
Is
project.
that the same thing as eminent domain?
It is not. Eminent, it gives, let me explain this. Congress in 1947 amended the Natural Gas Act. And what it said is, if FERC gives a certificate of public convenience and necessity, then the pipeline company that receives it does get the right of eminent domain. So you're partially correct.
Okay. And someone like Norman Bay, do you ever speak to him personally?
I have spoken to him once in the elevator.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the public, where they're concerned with the public. We spoke to them then at all.
Yes. So
Have what, one new compressor station and one modified?
there's going to be several compressor stations.
How many?
I think 9, is that right?
I thought you said one.
No.
9.
Number, I think it was 9.
Try 9.
I just heard they say it's 9.
9.
Yeah, okay,
That's more like it.
Yeah.
And do they have dehydration at these stations, or is
I
just?
don't know. But that's a good question to put into a comment for us. We'll look it up. All right, so now we'll get the first speaker done.